option for that. Now it's all nicely filling up our histogram up here. You set your white balance like you do in Adobe Camera Raw or in Lightroom, or you can mess with it. You've got exposure, same things. You can also change your histogram by moving these points, just like you would in levels inside of Photoshop. So it's got some options that you're not seeing in a lot of other software packages. I think that was all I was trying to cover, but you load that profile in once you've got it set up. Yeah. OK, so this is another Silverfast. This is primarily used for scanning. But it actually, they built the same thing. They took their scanning module and said, oh, instead of interpreting this unique Epson scanner's information, we can read camera raws from Canon or Nikon or whatever. And they've made a program that does the same sort of thing. And the reason I'm covering it again is it has the ability to use an actual ICC profile. You tell it that you're reading a raw file. Is it positive? Because you might have a negative raw file. I don't know. But the key things are you click on histogram and you can make adjustments. So if you make a profile on fully open histogram, you can then make it more contrasty than is real, okay? Like perception does. It makes things have a range that feels like normal. And this little picture window stays open all the time because it's such a common thing. It's just got your exposure, color temperature, and you click on this, and you click on your gray card to get your white balance. Real similar idea that every other program has. You've got curves that you can load by clicking on the little curve tab. But you click on options, and boom, you've got the ability to apply no profiles when you're making the target. When you're shooting your target and analyzing what your camera does, then you load them back in. And again, a huge advantage of having this is you've got a very, very accurate color profile to start with. It's converting it on the fly, if you want, to a known profile. So it's making that compensation that gets you from a specific correction for your camera to something that you can give out to anybody that's ready to be, converted to CMYK or sent to a large format printer or whatever, right on the fly. But it's also compensating for your monitor, so the little preview you're getting is now color accurate, and you're going to get the same thing in Photoshop. And the profile's been applied on the fly. So you can kind of see that there's some unique advantages to what these types of software packages do. Obviously, the Capture One software, the interface is much more modern. This feels like an OS 9 product. It's got some quirky things, but it's definitely very, very capable. And it applies profiles on the fly. This is the Flex Color software. Again, you've got your little gray balance guy here. It doesn't have sliders that I can find. I'm sure there's a way to modify it somewhere in there or to lie to it and tell it that it's a certain white. But really, it's designed for every picture, has a gray card first, primarily for shooting in the studio. This software is really kind of built around, high-end cameras. They didn't even have memory cards to begin with. It was literally tethered to your computer. Or a scanner. This also runs the FlexScan. Same software. I think it's a slightly different module, but it's the same software. You've got your histogram where you can increase the contrast and make it start shadow sooner, so it's a darker shadows and brighter highlights to increase contrast. You got contrast, brightness, gamma, all those kinds of standard things. But if you go up to Edit and you click Setup, you've got your profiles again. We can have an input profile of none. And so then it will save that without any correction at all. You then build your profile, load it in. You can apply your soft proof on the fly, and you get a color accurate preview right on screen on your calibrated monitor in your studio that looks color correct to the product that's in front of you. The only challenge I've seen with using a product like this is your model lights are very, very yellow. So you look at it and go, the real world looks bad compared to the screen, because the flash goes off and you have compensated for how your camera sees color and everything looks really neutral. You get really good results with products like this. If you're doing professional product photography, you're already using a software package like this. And that's it.